Now in base, we have seen some introduction part. Now today we are going to see different elements of this base. So base is actually relational database management system, that is RDBMS. And what is relational database? So in relational model, it is centered on the idea of organization of data into collection of two-dimensional table called relations. So here we are grouping data according to that content in different tables, and this is the first thing where we are going to store data, that is tables. And this relational database model, it was designed by EF Code, that is name of the person that has introduced relational database model. Now this is table. Okay, table is actually basic unit for storing data in database. So in table, now we are going to start with table designing. So already we have created one table named supplier. Okay, this table we have already created. Now we are going to create another table. So first of all, before creating a table in this form, this is with data. Okay, table is now here with data in that table. Okay, this was the earlier table that we have created. So you can see this in first row there are headings, and under that heading different entities are there. These are called entities: Nokia India, Hewlett Packard, then Sony India, Samsung Corporation, etc. So these are different entities. Okay, and one row contains information about individual entity. So this whole row contain information about Nokia India supplier. Okay, this second one HP, third one Sony. So each individual row contains information about individual entity. So first of all, before creating this type of database, we have to create table. Okay, so we are going to create table structure for another table, that is employee. So first one is design view. Here this is using wizard. Okay, wizard means already some sort of formats are inbuilt, that is given to you so that you can use that, and according to your requirement you can take all or few fields available in that table. Okay, so for example, I want to take this address, then city, okay, like that, birth date, like that. Okay, so one by one we can select and click on this single sign of this greater than. If you want to take all, click here and click on this two greater than sign, so all fields will be selected then. Okay, so this is how, and in personal you have these many available wizards. So these are inbuilt designs that you can use, and if you want to create database table according to your design or your requirement, then design view is there. So click on design view. There are three different columns: field name, field type, and description. The description is optional, you can skip this. Here field name, for example, in employee we have first name. Now remember one thing, here we cannot use space here like this in name. Okay, if you want to give field name of two different words, at that time you can write this. Okay, like this, first character of each word is capital, or you can use underscore, like that. Now here text, then variable, then next is last name. Again same, ignore case. Then third one, address line 1. Again text. Here text field can contain information like the number, alphabets, or any special character. Then the next is city. Again same, ignore case. Then pin code. Here pin code, we know that this is a particular number. Okay, so we have using it text fixed character. Then email ID, that is text variable character. Then mobile number, that is again text variable character. Here we have not used ignore case because it has to be same. Okay, like for example in email id, if something is small, that alphabet has to be small only. In mobile number also. So we are not using ignore case here because it is fixed. It is case sensitive. Okay, so for any information that is case sensitive, we are not taking ignore case for that field. Then birth date, that is date. Okay, then joining date, again date, field type, and designation. Okay, that designation again ignore this. Okay, now for example I am using one more row here. So how to, if we have forgot to include any particular field, at that time right click insert row. Okay, so before that row that you have selected, one new row will get inserted. So here for example I am using emp id. This is employee id, and this I am using text variable character only, not ignore case. Okay, and right click and give primary key. Okay, so employee id will differentiate each and every employee. It will be unique for each and every employee. Now save this. It will ask us to save the table with some name. So employee, I'm typing here table name. Okay, and close it. Now you can see this employee table. Double click here. Now we get this structure of this table ready. Okay, employee ID. We are going to give here. Okay, we are using A001. Mobile number we are going to enter. So this is one record I am entering so that you will come to know how table is created and we can enter data there. Date of birth 12 December 81 for example. Okay, same way joining date 1st June 2011. Okay, now why I have written like that? See this, this is 1st June 2011 joining date. Now I am going to type like this only 106 2011. Okay, so whenever the date format is not matching with your system date and time format, at that time if you write like this 1/6 2011, if the format of date and time is end date, date is DDMMYYYY, at that time it will take current date. And if it is M, and YYYY, at that time this 6 will come at first place and one will go to next place. So it will be 6 January. Okay, it will be understood at 6 January according to Indian date format. Okay, so that's why it is we have to keep this in mind, okay, if it is matching with our date and time format or not. For example, let's see date and time from system. So go to time and language settings. Date and time is there. Okay, now you can see this regional formatting. Okay, here it is 11 September 2021 and short date is 11/9/2021. So 11 September, it is like that. So change data formats here. For short date it is like this, and you can change it in any other form, and you can take this format also. So this depends on the system settings in your computer, that and that you can change also. And here the designation, for example, relationship manager. So this way we can add more employees details in this table. Now how to edit records in the table? So for example, I'm opening this supply table. Now if you want to edit any particular information, you can go to that field and you can change that value. Okay, you can remove the whole content and you can type it again with some new content. That is editing. Then this is, you can see here, this is record number 2 of total 5 records. Okay, same way, if you want to go to next record or previous record, you can use this. So this is, let's understand these buttons. This is current record in which we are. For example, this is second, that is current record. This is total number of records. This is to insert new record. This is new button. Then this is for the last record, to go directly to the last record. Okay, this is to directly go to first record. And this is next and previous. Okay, next and previous buttons. And this is called record pointer. Record pointer here, whatever in whichever record you are, record pointer will be there or in front of that record. For example, let's go to next. You can see this record pointer moving, okay, like this. Now there are sorting buttons, ascending or descending. So you can sort data, okay, according to any of this field. So for example, we select the supplier field and click on sort. Okay, sort by supplier name in ascending order. Okay, if two names are matching for one supplier, if you have entered two different records. Okay, for example, if we are going to create one order table, at that time uh, one merchant's name will come multiple times whenever he orders something. So at that merchant name will match in different rows. So in that case, we can select another field when two records are matching same. Okay, so in order table, for example, if the table is order table, at that time order on which date. So then we can take another field which is having the date of order. Okay, here we are not taking another field since we have different suppliers in each and every line or this row. So ascending. Okay, I can see this Hewlett Packard, Nokia, Samsung and Sony. Then same you can use in descending order also. Be like this. So this is sorting buttons. Now this table in employee, we have created one field as primary key field, that is employee ID. For example, how you can see this, go to edit and employee ID is having primary key field. Okay, now same way, if we are going to insert details of each and every employee about their salary and their department, at that time whatever basic details are here about employee. Okay, and for example, this Anya Sharma again will be there in that another employee table that is having salary structure and other details. For example, department. Okay, for example, department we are not taking here, and we are taking it in that table. At that time, these two tables are having details of one same person. At that time, how we can relate data of these two tables? At that time, again we are going to create one field which is there in this employee table, that is employee ID. And in that table also we are going to assign it primary key. Let's take one example, empid, and here for example salary, let's take it as integer, and then department. Okay, this is text variable in our case. So now we know that department is already there in the earlier table. Here employee Now we are going to assign primary key to this employee ID again. Okay, and close it. Okay, now it is there. Now employee detail again. Employee ID, for example, is 001. That is, for example, salary is 25,000, and that is management or relationship. Okay, so you know that department was already there in this employee table. Okay, so in these two tables we have details of this employee, that is Anya Sharma. Okay, and both these are having one common field, two common field. One is employee ID and second is department. But since we know that we can have multiple employees in one single department, so for example, here if uh, I take accounts, at that time more than one person can be there in account department. So we cannot take department as a primary key field. Okay, because primary key field value cannot be duplicate or null. Okay, so if more than one person is there in same department at that time, that uh, rule of this primary key field will violated. At that time it will not work. So we have taken one field, that is employee ID, and it is unique for each employee. And now you can see this. And now we are going to create relationship. This table I am going to delete, and I am going to insert one more table, employee details. Okay, so now I want some information. Okay, I want to find out information about employees who are living in Ahmedabad or in a particular area, and I want different information: first name, last name, a salary, and department. Okay, so double click here, or you can click and drag that field. Okay, then salary and department. Okay, and one more thing, you can click and drag here. Now you can see this. This is relationship between employee ID of this table to employee ID of this table. So this is relationship between these two tables. When we create relationship, at that time there are that properties that are assigned to these fields. Okay, so that we are going to see afterwards when we are going to see what is relational database and how it works. Okay, so now these things are there, and now I am going to save this with a new name, query 1. Okay, you can give any name and click on OK and close it. Now from in queries, there is one query that we have prepared. Double click here and you will get name of this employee Anya Sharma, having 25,000 salary, and her department is relationship manager. Okay, so this is how you can retrieve data from different tables.